Howdy, howdy, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the review today. And if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail and the title, I'm going to be taking a look at the 2024 reissue of BOSSK. This figure came out around 2015, so it's kind of gotten pretty high there on the aftermarket. You're talking about like 70, 80 bucks to 100, depending on certain listings you look at on eBay or Amazon or whatever. So it's really dope for Hasbro to be giving us these reissues, man, because this is an older figure, and I did not want to pay that much for this figure, but he's definitely an essential OT, and honestly, at this point, after Clone Wars, a prequel character as well. But a little quick shout out to Matt Bryant. The day I was gonna film this review, I seen his pop up in my feed or whatever because I'm subscribed to him, and I watched his review just to get a little fresher up on it. And I told him, I was like, man, great minds think alike. I was just about to review this, and I seen yours pop up, so I figured I'd watch it. And I told him I just reviewed Hera, glad for the reissues. And he went and watched my Hera review and commented on it. So shout out to Matt Bryan, man. If you're watching my stuff, you've probably subscribed or heard of him. But if not, go check out his stuff. He's a very awesome content creator and an awesome Star Wars fan for sure. But really excited to finally have this in my display. I've had it for a while now from Big Bad. No, I'm sorry. I actually got this from GameStop. I had it pre-ordered on Big Bad but canceled it because I seen GameStop had it in stock. But so sweet to finally have this in my display. I'm all about alien creatures, and Trandoshan's are no exception. So even though this figure came out in 2015, it being a 9-year-old, almost 10-year-old sculpt, the sculpting on this is beautiful. This is such a sweet sculpt. Got some wicked like extra deco pieces with the overlay and the hoses and stuff like that. Just a really stellar looking figure, to be honest. Just having it standing, aesthetically looking, it's awesome. But otherwise very well known amongst the community and stuff. Very shit articulation, just to put it frank with you. But man, this sculpt is just so cool, and I'm so glad that Hasbro is finally getting around to doing these highly desirable characters and figures. It's for newcomers like me to the Black Series. I've been collecting about 2.5 years now. It's just it's a heaven sent, man. I don't want to. Especially for a figure like this with limited articulation. Granted, like I said, it looks terrific and it's a beautiful sculpt. Very, very wicked sculpt. But I don't want to have to pay $80 to $100 for a 10-year-old figure that, can't even hold his blaster rifle with two hands. It's just unless you're like really hardcore about this character, I understand why you would. I'm not going to judge you for that. But just me personally, I couldn't justify spending that kind of money on something like this. But for 25 bucks, dude, you fucking bet, man. Just Boss was a really cool character. I love how they fleshed him out in the Clone Wars. He was a very like limited character from Empire Strikes Back. We didn't get to see a whole lot of Boss. I forget. He's got like literally seconds of screen time there on Vader's command bridge. Not long at all, but just one of those iconic alien characters that just captured so many like. This image of Bosk is burned into your brain. I can't remember if it's Moff Jerjerrod or whoever it is, but when they're there on the command bridge and one of the Imperial officers looks up and it's just Bosk's like super sharp talon nails and his scaly feet just over the edge of the command bridge above the like computers and shit. It's just such a cool scene in Empire Strikes Back. And this figure just captures the representation perfectly. And I really think that he's an important character enough that he deserves a retool or a resculpt. And I feel like they would just absolutely put some modern articulation and engineering on a figure like this. It would just be out of this world, and they wowould sell. It's just a no-brainer, man. Because it's almost like a prequel. You could have a prequel BOSSK, Clone Wars era of BOSSK, or you can have a OT era of BOSSK. Like, you could go either way. You can go in whatever section you want. But as I was saying earlier, I really do like how they kind of fleshed out BOSSK a little bit more and kind of showed him, intermingling with young Boba's gang and stuff like that when he was being mentored by Dengar and stuff like that. So, yeah, just a really, really awesome character, iconic looking alien design. He is a Trandoshan. That's his species. They hate Wookiees. Wookiees hate them. They have this unbridled rivalry that will never end. But let me quit babbling on because this is just a really cool species, and I would love to see more. I would like to see some just like generic Trandoshan warriors or like bounty hunters. It doesn't even have to be BOSSK. Certain era of the Clone or episodes of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka actually comes into contact with Chewbacca and some other Padawans, and they end up fighting a bunch of Trandoshan's. Like I'd love to get some random looking Trandoshan's, man. That would be sick. But like I said, I'm gonna keep on rambling because that's just what we can do about Star Wars. You can just go back and forth on shit all day. But let me quit rambling on, and we'll get a look at the articulation and a closer look at the sculpting. This honestly is just such a wicked sculpt, man. Like even the decals and the paint on here is just very clean. Man, Hasbro, you're not watching this, but if you happen to come across this by random like marketing, thank y'all for doing this, man. Y'all are making some newer collectors, and I'm sure some older collectors very happy. And fuck the scalpers. Honestly, I don't care if your collection is getting devalued. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Maybe don't collect action figures and buy stock or something. I don't know what to say. But here is his blaster here, and I think I forget what the actual name. It's his Shelby something. I forget what the technical term is. I might actually give this a wash one day. Put a black wash on this leather band and even just put some silver dry brushing on the rifle itself. I wish I could remember. Maybe I'll post it like right here or something. The Shelby something. I want to say it's a Shelby something. Just a plain black plastic. I actually prefer the black plastic over this newer sparkly gray that they're doing. But and just real quick, we'll go over articulation and look at the sculpt. We do have an articulated jaw here, so that's pretty sweet. Eyes are so cool looking. You can get a T position. The shoulders are not great by any means. That's about as good as you're going to get for a T. I don't want to force it too much. You can see that ball joint right here, that single hinge. It's a very short cut. It's about as all as you're going to get. Elbows, same thing, very short cut. So that is literally all the articulation out of the elbow you're going to get. Not even 90 degrees. So that's open. That's all you get. So when I said shit articulation earlier, I wasn't joking. But the sculpt is just so beautiful. Got a horizontal hinge here on the right hand. Horizontal here on the left hand as well. And then with this overlay and stuff, you just want to be careful. If you push it up a little bit, you actually can get a decent little split. Not crazy. With the overlays and stuff, I don't want to force it too much. You can kick out in front a little bit. I don't want to force it too much or pull on anything. But he's got a decent kick forward. Little bit of kickback, not a whole lot. Yeah, not really not a lot at all. But he can kick forward just a slight bit. Also got some thigh swivel right here. I'm a fan of thigh swivel. I don't mind it. Old pinned double jointed knees. So you can get these and almost get his calf to touch his hamstring. So that's not terrible, but for double jointed pins, I've seen them go further. So you can get about a little less than 90, about 90 at the, yeah, because by the time you just start bunching up into the sculpt starts pushing together. So you don't want to do that. Over time, if you force it too much, you can scrape the paint or dent the plastic or whatever. The ankles actually have a really decent cut here, as you can see. So you can get about that far down and this far up. And of course, there is rockers. Bottom of the feet, look real quick. For you BOSSK feet fetish people out there. But yeah, so now we can look at the sculpting. And look at this, man. Beautiful, beautiful looking figure. Wicked, wicked sculpt, man. The colors are just so vibrant. I love this yellow on his jumpsuit, his flight suit. The scales are very well done. Here, let me bring it in a little bit closer. Scales are very beautifully done. Look at that detail on the nails. Nice paint. Very clean paint. All these extra bits of paint. The white right here and the black. This overlay is so cool, man. All the extra deco, it just adds to the figure, man. I like the wrinkles and folds in his flight suit here. Again, look at those feet, dude. So badass. Very clean paint on the nails. The scales on point. And I like this little dew claw that he's got here. That's pretty dope. Look at the back of the figure. Same thing. Got the same overlay right here. This hose right here. Oh, just hit the camera. Sorry, y'all. This hose right here that plugs into the back. Got some nice, like a ripple effect on his flight suit here. I like the red tubing around. Again, very clean paint. Nice decal hill here. Very nice clean decal, very clean paint. I like the silver on the white. Another clean decal here. There's a little patch or insignia, whatever you like to call it. Very clean paint on this figure, man. Super clean paint. Just getting a closer look at his face here. Sorry, a little too close in that. Try to raise my camera up just a hair. Try to bring him in for your portrait look. And the teeth, very cleanly painted. Articulated jaw. Sculpt. The eyes look pretty good. Again, very, very cool head sculpt here. Got that scaled alligator look. Very sick. Just a badass looking figure, man. There's just such a wicked, freaking stellar sculpt, dude. Such a badass figure. And as always, y'all know I like to give y'all side-by-side comparisons. I enjoy it. It's a good way to give y'all an idea of scale and how it will look on the shelf with your other figures. Here on the left is the Dagobah training 2-pack with Luke and Yoda, and on the right is Dengar. Now standing in frame is, on the left is Zuckuss, and on the right is Forlom, of course. Or to some of y'all, this might be Zuckuss and this might be Forlom. This is going to be a quick side-by-side comparison segment, but last to finish off is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. And I just thought I'd show off this little section of my Empire Strikes Back shelf. I'm so ready for an updated IG-88 with that IG-12 coming with Grogu and the end zones. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. They're going to be giving us an updated IG-88, so I'm really looking forward to that. But look at the way these all look together, man. Just so dope. Little Empire. I don't have many Empire figures. I need to work on that. But yeah, just wanted to show that off real quick. They look awesome together, everybody. Overall, though, man, like for $25, if you can get this, find this reissue, totally worth it in my opinion for that price, man. Just to have the representation for this OT and technically Clone War prequel version too. But essentially a very essential OT aliening character, very well known from the OT, and that's where we first come to know of BOSSK. Like I said, wicked sculpting. If you can find this reissue for like the $25 for the standard price, totally, you got to pick this one up, man. Wicked sculpting, very clean, awesome paint. All that, you can look past the limited articulation. The sculpt and paint alone make up for that. But this is all I got to say for this figure, man. I don't want to ramble on too much. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're all having a great day or night whenever you're watching this too. May the Force be with you.